3 squad cars, lights flashing like a war zone, and my sister, Lila Bennett, a two-tour Iraq veteran, stands cuffed on my lawn, betrayed by our own neighborhood in Maple Grove, Oregon. The smell of mowed grass and diesel fumes mixes with the sickening click of handcuffs as HOA President Victoria Langley, 53, accuses her of covert military surveillance, her clipboard a weapon, turning Lila's PTSD recovery into a federal crime scene. Clueless that Lila's military intelligence skills would unravel her suburban tyranny. What would you do if your community targeted a veteran? For existing? Drop a flag emoji and tell me where you're from. This gets epic. I'm Ethan Caldwell, 34, a remote IT specialist in a 3-bedroom ranch in Maple Grove, a 2016 planned community where every house is canyon taupe, every mailbox regulation ivory, and the community pond's plastic swans cost more than my groceries, the air thick with HOA compliance, mulch, chlorinated water, and fear of breaking rules. 3 weeks ago, my sister Lila, 28, moved in temporarily, medically discharged after an IED blast left her with PTSD, where fireworks mimic mortars, her sacrifice, haunting me while I sat safe, griping about Wi-Fi. Maple Grove Estates HOA runs like a dictatorship. $90 monthly dues, a rulebook thicker than a coding manual, and 50 residents trained to obey. Tuesday 9 a.m. leaf blowers humming in sync, a symphony of submission. Victoria, a retired bank auditor, rules with a blonde bob defying physics, her white BMW SUV gleaming like a tank. Acrylic nails tapping her laminated rulebook like a war drum, a master of weaponized paperwork hiding prejudice behind property value protection. Day 3, Victoria appeared, lavender perfume, choking me, eyeing Lila through my window. Your guest violates our 7-day visitor policy. Written approval, background check, $50 fee required. I said Lila's family, recovering from military service. But Victoria's eyes lit up. Military types attract trouble, drug dealers, criminals exploiting PTSD. My banking experience shows they destabilize communities. Her hiss of they made my skin crawl. But reasoning with her was my first mistake. She's a bureaucratic predator, trained to inflict maximum damage with plausible deniability. Lila made cryptic calls with military jargon. Packages arriving from Strategic Defense Solutions and Federal Compliance Group, deflecting my questions about her specialty with communications before switching topics. The neighborhood split, some whispered support but feared Victoria's wrath. Others bought her narrative of veterans as threats. Day 8, a certified letter thicker than a brick hit, Maple Grove Estates HOA screaming urgent. Compliance, accusing Lila of unauthorized vehicle, her military truck, noise violations, 6 a.m. runs labeled acoustic terrorism, and military equipment storage, her VA therapy gear, resistance. Bands, foam rollers, called weapons caches and photos taken inside our house, impossible angles proving Victoria's trespassing. The 48-hour deadline threatened $500 daily fines, panic hitting like a server crash. My office reeking of burnt coffee and printer ink as I researched until 2 a.m., paper cuts stinging, uncovering that the Americans with Disabilities Act trumps HOA rules. Lila's gear protected as adaptive equipment, and harassing veterans violates federal civil rights law, with penalties dwarfing HOA fines. I fired back with a complaint citing ADA statutes, trespassing evidence, and harassment, copying the state regulatory board. While Lila's calls grew intense, using codes like mission briefings, packages piling up, her saying she's maintaining skills. She profiled neighbors like enemy targets, gathering HOA violation histories. Learning Mrs. Clara Nguyen, 67, was fined $300 for Vietnamese cooking odors and $200 for speaking Vietnamese on her porch. Victoria's utopia banning diversity. Lila's chilling nod and black notebook entries suggested she was documenting war crimes. Victoria's surveillance, heels clicking, camera snaps from bushes, hushed calls, became our creepy soundtrack, but Lila, unfazed, timed her jogs to bait Victoria, smirking. Drawing fire reveals the enemy's position. Tom Harris, a nervous dad, approached. Shaken by Victoria's photos of Lila's gear, his wife scared, but I explained Lila's therapy needs, seeing Victoria's manipulation spread like a virus. That night, Lila's call mentioned Target, acquired, and federal protocols for domestic threats. Her grin sharp. I know this predator, Ethan. Day 15, Officer Daniel Moore, a barbecue buddy, arrived uncomfortably with Victoria, who'd called a wellness check claiming Lila's erratic military behavior, her jogs labeled reconnaissance, her therapy gear combat equipment. Daniel sighed. She showed her VA papers, explained her needs. Checks out. I handed him Lila's VA records, disability docs, and residence proof, organized like a database, citing false reports as misdemeanors escalating to federal violations. Daniel warned Victoria, who tapped her clipboard like a machine gun, her excitement fading. Lila noted the 47-minute gap from her jog, saying, "She's predictable." Then she revealed her specialty: military intelligence analyst, trained in surveillance detection and counterintelligence, building dossiers on threats like Victoria. Her files, photos, timestamps, logs, FBI-worthy. The printer ink sent mixing with her typing as she said, "Victoria's building her case, but I'm building a better one against her." Victoria's desperate emergency, HOA meeting emails, accidentally including me, exposed her bias. Unstable veterans, property value threats, splitting neighbors further. Tom torn, Clara quietly supportive, Lila patient. Enemies err when they think they're winning. Her calls hinting at federal compliance contacts. Day 22, another letter demanded $1,200 in fines. Lila's telehealth dish called an unauthorized satellite, PTSD blackout curtains. Improper coverings, her GI Bill classes, commercial activity, with a 10-day deadline or a property lien, letters timed to disrupt my client calls. Victoria's banking savvy weaponizing stress. Clara revealed fines for cooking odors and language. Mr. Henry Walsh, 73, fined for his walker's squeak, and the Lopez family for a Guatemalan flag, exposing Victoria's targeting of minorities, elderly, and disabled. I digitized their complaints, Lila uncovering $23,000 in fraudulent Langley Property Services invoices, landscaping for fake plants, pool cleaning for non-existent equipment, owned by Victoria's brother-in-law, her mortgage payments suspiciously current post-divorce. Lila's financial crimes expertise, honed tracking terrorist funding, confirmed interstate commerce fraud via multi-state residents, making it federal jurisdiction, her bank records tying vacation purchases to HOA payments. Victoria's desperation turned to sabotage, broken sprinklers after Lila's jogs, damaged mailboxes post-therapy, her emails blatant with undesirable elements, perfect for civil rights lawyers. The neighborhood barbecue reeked of charcoal and tension. Tom admitting Victoria's lies hurt everyone, Lila noting in her notebook. Final phase. Tuesday, Lila revealed her financial crimes specialty, her file a bulletproof case, $23,000 in fraud. Discriminatory enforcement, federal violations, her voice cold. Victoria's sloppy, and it's federal now. Our garage became a war room. Coffee rings on my workbench. Clara's jasmine tea fueling me. Lila, Clara, Tom's brother Jake, a contractor, and VA attorney Maria Torres, planning a multi-front attack, federal fraud, Fair Housing Act violations, state HOA complaints. Lila's prosecution grade. Files, timelines, photos, witness statements showed Victoria's liability, Maria noting treble damages and attorney fees ensured justice, Clara rallying neighbors, Jake verifying fake invoices. Our digital archives nuclear proof. Victoria's panic showed frequent inspections, rumors of Lila's fake valor, her brother-in-law distancing himself, neighbors questioning her, her voice shrill on calls. Day 29, my sprinkler system flooded during a client call, Victoria's sabotage clear, her flyers claiming Lila's military invasion, her appearance fraying. Exhaustion, paranoia. Lila documented every move, her counterintelligence catching Victoria planting drug paraphernalia in our trash, Daniel noting it as a false flag. Victoria's emergency meeting called Lila a military extremist, but news outlets sniffed her fraud charges, FBI freezing her assets, warrants hitting HOA records. Our community meeting was a courtroom, 45 residents, news cameras, FBI agent Sarah Blake. In the back, Victoria entering with her attorney, lavender perfume masking fear, her speech accusing Lila of infiltration, her therapy gear weapons, her jogs recon. I countered with ADA, fair housing, and bylaws, revealing $47,000 in fraud, Lila projecting invoices, discrimination timelines, federal charges, mail fraud, interstate commerce, 5 to 15 years prison, asset forfeiture. Clara stood. She fined me for my culture, stole my peace. Gasps echoing. Sarah Blake confirming investigation. Daniel filing harassment charges. A 41-2 vote ousting Victoria, unanimous asset. Recovery approval. Maria declaring it a national precedent. Victoria's denial, fabricated, shifted to bargaining. Then rage, neighbors shunning her as justice landed. 6 months later, Victoria pleaded guilty to federal fraud, 3 years prison, $47,000 restitution, 18 months free HOA fees, her BMW auction for a veteran scholarship, Clara as treasurer, Jake on the board. Maple Grove now a diversity model, Lila joining a federal HOA fraud task force, testifying in Congress, my IT skills earning promotions, the Bennett Fund aiding elderly, our diversity festival. Replacing Victoria's rules, Clara's foe uniting us, kids playing freely, Lila saying, service never ends. Was this justice or vengeance? Can HOAs protect without corruption? Share your HOA nightmares below. Your story could spark change. Hit subscribe for more tales of crushing tyranny.